It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome esteemed members of print and electronic media who have joined this con call for briefing on Union Bank's financial results for the quarter ended December 2020. I trust all of you are in good health. The third quarter of the financial year has been encouraging for us as there is strong rebound in domestic demand reflected in high frequency indicators, which also suggest that the recovery is getting stronger with business getting back to the pre-COVID levels. We have already shared the press release which contains detailed information on the performance of Union Bank of India. However, I would like to share few highlights. The global business grew by 1.77% year on year to 15,34,396 crores as of December 2020. The CASA ratio stood at 35.38%, while retail advances grew at 7.45% year on year to 1,20,386 crores. Net interest income during 9-month period increased by 9.04% to 19,285 crores compared to 17,687 crores of previous 9 months of FY20. Operating profit increased by 12.16% to 5,311 crores during the Q3 of FY21. The net profit increased by 40.7% to 727 crores during the Q3 of FY21 compared to the 517 crores of the previous quarter. The net profit stood at 1,576 crores for the 9-month period compared to the net profit of the corresponding period last year, which was 544 crores. Global net interest margin NIM stood at 2.94, whereas domestic NIM stood at 2.98 for the quarter 3. Gross NPA ratio improved to 13.49% as of 31st December compared to 15.51% as of 31st December 2019. Net NPA ratio improved to 3.27% as on 31st December compared to 6.48 of December last year. Provision coverage ratio improved to 86.18% as of 31st December 2020 compared to 73.91% of December last year 2019. CRAR stood at 12.98% as of 31st December 2020 and compared to minimum regulatory requirement of 10.875. The CET1 ratio stood at 9.22%. Thank you. Now we look forward for your valuable feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask questions, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Hitesh from PGI. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Hitesh, good evening.
Sir, I just wanted to know what's your one-time restructuring book?
Restructuring book for the COVID-related distress.
Yes, sir.
It is 16,725 crores totally. Out of that, yeah, it is इसमें 3,272 crores is already restructured up to 31st December. The expected restructuring is 13,454 crores in the next 6 months. Totally it is 16. Yeah. A breakup I can give you. MSME total expected restructuring is 2,878 crores. Out of that, 1,406 is already restructured. In case of personal loans, expected restructuring is 3,250. Out of that, 1,866 is already restructured. And the corporate expected restructuring is 10,598, which is expected to be restructured in the up to June. So nothing has happened up to now. So 10,598. That is the total.
Sir, on year-on-year basis, your profit is down by 37%. So What is the reason, sir?
Last year Q3 you had the recovery of SR Steel. So because this is an amalgamated number of three banks together. In case of Corporation Bank, they had written back a substantial amount as profit, 1500. About 1500 crores. So that was a one-off entry for corporation. As an amalgamated entity, that is pushing the numbers of previous year up. Otherwise, operating performance is better this year. If you exclude that entry, because they had totally written off that account, so they took it as a profit last time.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Mishra from Financial Express. Please go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, can you throw light on provisioning because it has increased threefold, I guess, year-on-year basis, and if you can provide the breakup for the same.
On the provisioning,
Yes, sir. On the provisioning, sir, how much is the COVID-related provisioning and contingent provisioning you have made?
I'll give you the breakup. During this quarter, 3036 is the provision for NPAs.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it involved some fraud provisioning also. Okay, and then we have a standard asset provision of 2227 crores. Now, in this 2227 also, 1525 crores, we have given a data of NPA 11,615 crores, which would have become NPA but for Supreme Court order. So we have made a 15% provision on that, 1525 crores. In addition to that, another 750 crores we have kept as a provision for the one-time restructuring, which is likely to happen in the coming months. So 2,227 is the total provision we are holding again, we have made in this quarter for expected COVID impact.
Understood, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, also, how much will be pro forma DNPAs and net NPAs, considering that provision?
Yeah, we are considering that our gross NPA will be 15.28 and net NPA will be 5.02 if you include the pro forma NPA. But one thing I would like to add here, pro forma NPA has happened as expected NPA as per the system, but since the Supreme Court order was there, so there are no aggressive cash recoveries happening actually, even though we are doing soft recoveries. So just to compare, in September we had 4,000 odd crores of pro forma NPA which we declared. Roughly 50% of that has been recovered up to December. So just to give you a trend, so even though it is 11,600, by March, like a good percentage of that is likely to be recovered. But however, as a matter of precaution, we are holding 15% provision against that.
Okay, sir. Sir, you said 1,525 crores. Out of which, how, if you have breakup of the same, how much is retail, how much is corporate?
Okay, out of this pro forma NPA of 11,615, the agriculture is the biggest chunk there, 4,800 crores. Retail is,
Sorry, sir, I did not hear you.
see the pro forma NPA breakup
Right.
is agriculture 4,809,
Okay, sir.
retail 3064, MSME is 2240, and corporate is 1,502.
Okay, got it, sir. And what is your outlook for next quarter? Do you still expect the net NPA to remain below 5% in the next quarter? What is your expectation?
Actually, we are expecting the substantial recoveries out of this, so we don't expect that number will go up substantially because see the moratorium got over in August. Whatever, like this number captures the 4 months EMI collection or installment collection. So most of the NPA which can happen because of the COVID impact is within this number. Now, actually, with some restructuring and some cash collection, these numbers can go down substantially. Our expectation is net NPA between 4 and 5%. It will be below 5, but it is likely to be above 4.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Neha Vipare from Value 360. Please go ahead. Ms. Neha Vipare from Value 360, you may go with the question.
She doesn't wish to speak. You can go to the next participant.
Sure. We move to the next question. The next question is from the line of Alex from Informist Media. Please go ahead.
So you mentioned that we expect to keep net NPS below 4 to 5%. Is there any time frame for that?
Pardon your question, I didn't get. We are expecting expecting to keep the net NPA between 4 and 5%. So what is your next part of the question?
What is the time frame for that?
That is, we are talking for March 21.
Okay, by March. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you're going to expect recovery. So is there any target? How much do you expect in the Jan March?
Next quarter, we are looking at some major settlements. At least 2 major accounts in NCLT which are very close to resolution, which are already approved in the last leg. So that should add actually to our recovery. Yeah. So we are expecting 4 to 5,000 crores, 4 to 5,000 crores of recovery in the last quarter.
Okay, so that and mainly led by NCLT account.
About half of that from NCLT and half of our normal recoveries.
So this would be Bhushan Steel and Diwan.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Ayush Shetty from Times of India. Please go ahead.
Yes, so this is Mayur here.
Yeah.
Can you give an update on the integration part on what's the timeline going forward?
Thank you for that question.
When do we expect to achieve the cost rationalization?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, we have completed the integration. Even Andhra Bank integration is completed now. Corporation Bank we had done 2 months earlier. So now Andhra Bank integration is also complete now. So now with that, actually we are going to the next step because parallelly we were doing certain synergies. Our synergy realization is about 800 crores till now. So we expect another 500 crores of synergy benefits by this year end. And for 3-year period, we expect a synergy of about 3,600 crores.
And integration, what is the next? Is everything complete? The back end and the products?
Everything is complete. Everything is complete. Our integration is complete. All the 2 banks, we are on a single platform. All the mobile apps, net bank, all payment systems, everything is integrated. Now MIS is coming from one server now. So we are totally integrated.
And any branch rationalization that will happen?
Yes, we have about 460 branches to be rationalized over a period of time actually, because these are basically identified based on the proximity of the branches operating at the same area and all that. So, out of that, maybe about 100 plus branches will get rationalized before March.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shayan from Mint. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi. Sir, I was looking to understand something now. The economic survey today has said that there is a need for another round of AQR, and the last one failed to detect some of the evergreening. Do you think if there is another round of AQR after the forbearance is withdrawn, the impact will be as it was last time? Banks reported losses because of higher provisioning. A lot of accounts were recognized. Do you think something similar could happen again?
I don't think so, because see, it is all system generated NPAs now. So the system is recognizing the defaults. So last time around we had lot of restructuring schemes which were available, which corporates have used to postpone the recognition. This time there is nothing of that sort available. Even if you look at the restructuring book, like which is a very liberal restructuring which is available, ultimately the request totally received is only 16,000 crores, which is only 2.5%. We were predicting this number earlier also. It's only 2.5% of the book which has come for restructuring. Now other accounts are all standard accounts. So within that 2.5, what is the AQR they are talking about? Maybe we have to wait for the Supreme Court to give the final judgment. Where will, like even now actually we are declaring openly what would have been the NPA numbers. So it is all very clear. All the banks have announced that number. So these doubts are really very stretched actually, because there is no scope for anybody to hide any NPA now, because there is no restructuring scheme for corporates available as of now. Everything is withdrawn. So there is nothing, it is very transparent. So I don't think like it will throw any surprise. One thing. Second, if you look at the corporate book is the most well-behaved book today. If you look at the slippage, what is, I already disclosed the number. So on the performa NPA, corporate is the lowest contributor. And similarly on the restructuring book also, it is not a big number which is coming. So I think there is not much stress left in corporate. Corporate book is cleaned.
Okay. And another question, sir, of the restructuring numbers that you gave out, are there some pro forma backgrounds also that have been recut or are in the process of being recut?
Performa NPA in the restructuring book?
Yes, sir.
No, that we are not recognizing now, because that's why we have made a provision there, probably in the one-time restructuring. No, suppose somebody may not be eligible as we go along, no, because there are a lot of factors to be seen in the restructuring. So somebody is not eligible, he may slip to NPA also. That's why we have kept a provision of 750 crores on the OTR book of 16,000 crores. We have kept, so yeah, there is no overlap. We have segregated the performa NPA and OTR book separately. There is no overlap between the two.
Like, no, I was, sorry, just one last question. I was asking, like some of your peer banks have done, they have also restructured loans that were part of the performa NPA. I would, because 31st, after 31st, we won't be able to invoke the restructuring anyway. So has that been done already, sir? Or?
Yeah, actually, see, if the OTR is already implemented, then it will not come in the NPA because they will be standard. But if the if the OTR is invoked, that's what actually we have given that number also, na? Like what is remaining to be restructured.
Okay.
That number I read out to you actually.
Yeah.
So they are the accounts which are likely to be like restructured. So
Okay.
but then we have segregated that actually. Like there is no overlap between the performa NPA and the restructuring book what I am talking about. They are distinct.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. A reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from Falas Nasir from Asian Edge. Please go ahead.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, what was the write-off? Was there any write-off this quarter?
Yeah, we had a write-off this time. No, 5,800 crores. 5,800 crores was the write-off this quarter. It's a technical write-off.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sir, can you give some credit cost guidance? Because we are seeing stress still, and we are seeing that corporate book is mostly clean now. So in the coming times, stress will be seen from the retail and MSME and the agri loans, etc.
Yes. So credit cost guidance we have done already 2.5 to 3%. This is the credit cost guidance. Yes, actually, this time what we are seeing is the stress is coming from MSME, agriculture, and retail. Like more from MSME and agriculture.
Okay. And also, any plans to monetize your stake in any of the subsidiaries?
Yeah, we are in the process of selling our stake in India First Life Insurance.
Okay. And so, by when will that complete? How much will you sell?
We are planning, actually, that process is on. How much and all that will be decided later, but then we have a 30% stake actually there. So that process is going on. I will not be able to comment more than that, but then, and the process is expected to be completed by 31st March.
Oh, okay. 30% much. But this 30% stake you have, it will come down to what level?
Now, that decision finally we will take whether to sell full or keep part and all that. No, that is a management call which will be taken at a later date. So that's why I'm not commenting on that. But then the sale process is on.
Okay. And the buyers will be existing shareholders.
I can't comment. I can't comment more than that, ma'am, because there's a process which is going on now. It's a confidential.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder once again to participants, you may press star and one to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Neha Vipare from Value 360. Please go ahead.
I think some confusion is there. She doesn't wish to speak.
All right. She's pressing star and one. We move to the next question. The next question is from Ankur Mishra from Financial Express. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, Ankur.
Wanted to get a sense on credit growth as well. I mean, it has remained flat quarter on quarter and year on year. Where do you see this in coming quarter and the next financial year?
Actually, for the next quarter, our credit growth is likely to be between 4 to 6%. That means we will end the year with a credit growth somewhere between 4 to 6%. For the next year, we are yet to put our projections because the growth projections are in double digits. So naturally, the credit growth also is likely to be in double digits next year.
Okay, sir. And where do you what are the pockets where you are expecting growth?
Actually, we are expecting growth both in the retail segment and also in the corporate book. Actually, in the first 3 quarters, we are not seeing much growth in the corporate credit, even though we have a strong sanction pipeline, but the utilization and all that are quite low. So we are not seeing much traction. Otherwise, if you see the retail book, we are growing at around 7%. So next year also, like the next quarter also, the retail growth will sustain, and retail growth we will see double-digit growth now. Because last 2-3 months a lot of sanctions have happened, and the corporate credit also will pick up. So the sanctions will happen both in retail and the corporate book.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder once again to participants that you may press star and one to join the question queue. That was the last question.
Sir.
As there are no further questions, I would like to hand the conference back to the management team for closing comments.
Thank you. Actually, this has been a very good quarter for our bank. We have given the projections, the probable NPA numbers, and just to add, the total provision bank is holding for the possible COVID impact on our assets is about 3,500 crores put together. But this is a provision we are holding, which should be able to take care of probable hit on the asset quality for the quarter. So the balance sheet is quite strong now. The provision coverage ratios have substantially improved, and the capital position of the bank also has substantially improved. So thank you for all the support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Union Bank of India, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You may now disconnect your lines.
Okay, you can close the video.